I think there will be tasks and jobs which can be done much quicker with AI. But at the end of the day, it's finding the human interactions where we can really add value.
Hello and welcome to Marketing Predictions 2026. I'm Kevin Huang, COO of the South China Morning Post. It's my privilege to be joined by Cheuk Shum, Head of Marketing at HSBC Hong Kong. An industry veteran with over 2 decades of experience, Cheuk has charted an impressive path from management trainee to C-suite leader, where he now oversees the full spectrum of brand from B2B and B2C marketing for HSBC. Cheuk, welcome to SCMP. 2025 has certainly been a very massive year for you with your 160th anniversary. But you took a very different route in terms of celebrating this very important milestone. From launching the 18 districts murals, to launching the world's tallest wealth management center at ICC, to most recently collaborating with the Monsters by Monsters exhibition, which is Labubu. You made the bank cool again. But as you head into 2026, how do you continuously keep this 160-year-old institution feeling cool?
No, thanks, Kevin. We have cool customers, right? So I will actually challenge that presumption that traditional clients are conservative. So what we're seeing now is, first of all, customers are getting richer younger. That's one. And then older customers are getting cooler and more open to new stuff. So when we look for passion points like Labubu, it actually cuts across quite a wide spectrum of demographics, different age range, mostly female, I agree.
Sure.
But then there are a lot of platforms like what we do with M+, with Rugby 7, arts and culture and sports. And we find the sort of common platforms that would resonate to a broader base. For us, 160 is like blending a good whiskey. You have some of the older vintage history, but at the same time, you mix it with some of the new vintage blend to make the brand sort of appealing and stay relevant to today's times.
Cheuk, I want to talk a bit about Hong Kong and your customer base. The demographics in our city is changing very rapidly. In the last year itself, 160,000 professionals came in from outside of the city via the Hong Kong Top Talent Pass scheme. These are high earners, they're digital natives who don't have a multi-generational nostalgia with HSBC. How is your bank, reintroducing the brand to these specific groups, and do you have to re-earn your status with them?
I think it's a great question. I think definitely it's like promoting Hong Kong. We need to find sort of the unique, differentiated sort of marketing points to market to customers who are not familiar with the brand, who are not grown up with the brand, like as you said. But I think fundamentally it starts with the customer experience. Making sure, for example, our comms, the language is not just about translating from traditional Chinese to simplified Chinese. You need to have the right terminologies in the communication. The user experience needs to be sort of rethink. I think the adoption of Huawei phones, you need to think quite differently in the way that we design the digital journey, for example, that's one. From a branding perspective, it's about finding that sort of uniqueness of the brand. Why do mainlanders come to Hong Kong? Or why do tourists come to Hong Kong? They look for egg tarts, they look for Bruce Lee, they look for Kennedy Town for that Instagrammable shot, right? Yeah. For us, it's also trying to find those unique sort of elements within the brand. For example, we've been using the iconic main building as the backdrop of our TV commercials, in our interviews, in TV dramas, for example. We have been rethinking the endorsers for the brand.
Sure.
In the past, it might be you just need to think about the Hong Kong audience. Now you need to find endorsers that works more broadly across markets and regions. It's also about finding the right media channels. Mainlanders would go for WeChat, for Xiaohongshu, for example, where we have recently activated our account. And I think the way that we create those assets also need to be quite different in the style and the tone.
Cheuk, I want to talk about wealth. It is the buzzword. I'm very sure this is also true in what you're seeing in your business. Hong Kong is projected to overtake Switzerland as the world's top cross-border wealth landscape by 2027. But what I've also seen is the competition is fierce. everyone is talking about this segment. What is HSBC doing to strengthen its position and Hong Kong's global role? And does the battle for these customers happen in the boardroom, or do you feel that it happens on the ground through softer themes such as events and even experiences?
I think clients nowadays, I think there are a few things, right? They're more global, they are entrepreneurial, and they are multi-generational, okay? And I think HSBC as a bank, we are well positioned to capture that sort of segment needs, right? We are global. We also have both commercial banking business and retail business. So for entrepreneurs, I think we are the bank to bank with. Yeah. And we've been around for 160 years. So when you talk about legacy, when you talk about multi-generational, we understand because we have served multi-generational families. So I think that gives us a very strong positioning in this space. I think in terms of wealth, we have recently established the Wealth Studio where we invite speakers and come share insights on wealth. So we also have the GIS, the Global Investment Summit that we do. And I think that is a key signature event. And I think as you rightly pointed out, being the financial hub and the wealth hub in Asia and the world, I think those events also helps to elevate the brand. Sure. I think at the end of the day, it's about providing unique insights and products and services that would really make the difference.
Back to basics. At the end of the day, the reason why I bank with you is number one, I want it to be safe, and number two, I want it to grow.
Yes.
I want to talk about technology. I want to talk about AI, and I want to ask you, what is the next frontier in terms of financial services? Are we looking at more AI for hyper-personalization? Is it swinging back to more tangible, real-life customer experiences? What do you think?
I think it's not binary, right? So it's going to be a hybrid of leveraging on what AI is good at, like processing data at speed, analyzing trends. I think that will stay, right? But at the same time, we believe the human element is going to be important. That relationship, especially for more complex conversation with clients, that AI will be good at doing maybe transactional details. But when it comes to understanding the client, when it comes to closing the deal, I think we still see, that's why we've invested in the wealth centers this year, because we think the high value transactions and conversations will happen pretty much still with the human involvement, with the RMs, right? But at the same time, we've been experimenting with the sandbox, with the HMA, doing more personalized responses in chatbot. And I think that will also elevate and upscale the way that we serve customers. There's only a finite number of agents that you can hire. And I think with growing number of customers, AI and chatbot will help to sort of serve those needs at scale and getting much better. I think there will be tasks and jobs which can be done much quicker with AI, just like when Excel was introduced or when the calculator was introduced. But at the end of the day, the human element for us is still quite relevant.
Chuck, I want to go back to 160 again.
Yep.
It is a very different campaign, very unique, and you guys have obviously put a lot of effort into it. We love that you placed a wrapper on the SCMP that marks the history of HSBC as reported from the South China Morning Post.
That was a lovely ad.
Point of view, but you also went out and you did things like the murals across 18 districts, paying respect to the fact that every district in Hong Kong is very, very different. And that is not very traditional in terms of how a bank markets. But as a leader, how do you build a culture where your team feels it's okay to pitch this to you, and things just haven't been done before?
Yeah. I think they will find it unsafe to pitch me safe ideas, because I think there's a culture where even the agencies and my own team, right, they're always trying to find sort of the newness and the freshness of what's this new idea, right? So I think the last few years, I think we've been quite good at that, right? They know, like, if this is something that we've done before, actually, they take the risk of not being risky, right? But I think at the same time, it's also reassuring them that if things don't happen the way it's designed, is okay, right? Of course, you help them assess the risk.
Of course.
But if things really don't work out the way they were intended, which happens, but if something doesn't fail, it means that we haven't been trying hard enough, right? So I think that's quite okay for me. And I think as a result of that, we do work on very new stuff, like Labubu, for example.
Well, we have two of them right here.
And I think we do like to experiment, and I think that's going to be something, as we get more proof points, the team will get the reassurance that it's okay to be a bit more experimental. Sure. And it's not okay to be not taking any risks. And I think that's the culture that we've been trying to reinvent ourselves. And I think as a whole, we're quite entrepreneurial in spirit, not just on the marketing side, but also product-wise, the way that we serve customers, the way that we do our comms. I think without the support from the rest of the bank, I think this would not have happened.
That's great to hear. 160-year-old and still acting like a startup. We're going to change it up a bit this year.
Okay.
And we'll end it off with a rapid-fire Q&A. So, Cheuk, if you weren't a marketer, what would you be?
This might shock you. I'm going to do valet parking. Because I love cars.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry.
Because I love cars. So, and it's expensive to own many, many cars. So the way that you can drive many cars without paying a single dime and actually get paid is to be a valet parking, right?
AI, best friend or your replacement?
I think it's going to be more a friend. Like I don't have kids, and I think I talk to Siri from time to time. I think as I grow old, I will talk to AI more and more to help me do things, right?
Labubu or Crybaby?
You know, I don't quite get it, actually. Actually, my own favorite thing is Steven instead. Our own sort of, I don't know, this beats Labubu any day for me.
Well, he's a true, HSBC fans there. Your number one Spotify track of 2025?
This year has been G-Dragon, Home Sweet Home, because it's my wake-up song. So when I drive to work, it's...
So we get you going.
I know.
Cheuk, thank you for such an insightful look into the future of Hong Kong's market. It is clear that in an evolving landscape, the balance between brand heritage and sustainable growth has never been more vital. Thank you for joining us for the Marketing Predictions 2026.